Hello, welcome. This is section 1.8. We're going to be talking about equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions represent the same amount of a whole. They might not look the same, but the actual part, if you cut it or shaded it, would look the same. So here's an example. 1/2 is the same as 4/8. And what that means is that if we had 1/2, we'd have one whole, we'd cut it into half, and we'd have one out of that. If we have 4/8, we would cut this into 8 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we would shade 4 out of them. So they look the same. This 1/2 is still 1/2 over here, but we call it 4/8. So that's what equivalent fractions mean. Now, if we want to find equivalent fractions and we have a denominator we want to make it into, we can make these equivalent fractions by finding what the missing link is that we're multiplying by. So 7 times what gets me 35, and I would multiply that same number up here by 4. So 7 times 5 gets me 35, so I need to multiply the 4 times 5 to get to the same equivalent fraction. So this would be 20/35 would be the same as 4/7. Now sometimes we don't know the multiple just by looking at it. 13 times what would give me 78, or another way to say it is 78 divided by what gets me 13. So we could divide this and we could say 13 divided by 78 divided by 13 would get me this missing factor that's right here that we need to multiply to get to equivalent fractions. And that would be 3 times what would get me the 8 would be 16, or 3 times 6 is 18. So I multiply and I get 6 times 1, and then plus 1 is 7. So that means I need to multiply both of these right here by 6/6. When you're making equivalent fractions, you're always multiplying numerator and denominator by the same equivalent fraction. Here, this equals 6/6. So 6 times 5 is 30, and 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is, or plus 3 is 90. So 15/13 would be the same as 90/78. So go practice some of those, just writing equivalent fractions, and we'll come back and talk about comparing fractions.